While Linkin Park had a visceral power with them which helped them connect with millions of their fans worldwide, it was almost time for a change. There was a certain familiarity that struck among its audiences with the sounds of Meteora, but it still was the time Linkin Park grew up to acknowledge their age and make a few changes in their composition style as well. Or they would come across more like one-trick magicians. It had been a full 7 years. Many fans of Linkin Park, like fans of other bands, did not want a change in the musical styles or did not want a group to outgrow itself. It had been a full 7 years from the release of Hybrid Theory all the way till Minutes to Midnight, and it was time for Linkin Park to show some maturity, and that's exactly what they did. In fact, the ones who were applying for driver's license in the year 2000 with their release of Hybrid Theory were now passing out of college and entering adulthood. It was time for Linkin Park to take that leap head first into maturity with Minutes to Midnight, and that's exactly what they did.
And so did the generation. And not many generations have witnessed youths taking up social causes, starting campaigns. Campaigns through social media, through YouTube, through newspapers and more. Here's one generation which stopped saying, "Adjust Marty." Here's a generation which said, "Wake up."
क्या है? खाइए खाइए सर, ठाट से खाइए, उंगली चाट के खाइए सर। अब देखिए ना, कोई छुप के खाता है, खाते जा, तो कोई शर्मा के, खाते जा, कोई झुक के खाता है, तो कोई खुलेआम खाता है। हे भगवान, आपके नाम पे भी खाते हैं? अबे तेरी, कोई दिन उपवास नहीं, 24/7 खाते हैं। खाने वाला भी खिलाता है, देख लो। देश का बैंड बनते हैं महात्मा, पर नोच नोच के खाते हैं। लेकिन आपको पता है ये लोग इतना खाते क्यों हैं? क्योंकि हम खिलाते हैं। आज से खिलाना बंद, पिलाना शुरू।
On the 8th of September 2010, Linkin Park released their fourth album, 1000 Suns, again taking a step even further away from their signature sound of the early part of the last decade. The album explores the danger and paranoia of modern technology, war and apocalyptic themes. The album's title comes from the Hindu Sanskrit scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, which says, "If the radiance of 1,000 suns were to burst at once into the sky, that would be like the splendor of the Mighty One." The concepts blend human ideas with technology, human fears, the fear of what's going to happen to this world. The music kind of refers to that. This is certainly true for the lyrics and visual style of the song Waiting for the End. Not nearly as hard as many of the Linkin Park's previous efforts, the song itself is a combination of many styles.
This is not the end, this is not the beginning. Just a voice like a riot rocket every revision. But you listen to the tone and the violent rhythm, and know the words sound steady, some empties within them. We say yeah, with fists flying up in the air, like we're holding on to something that's invisible there. Cause we're living at the mercy of the pain and the fear, until we get it, forget it, let it all disappear. Waiting for the end to come, wishing I had strength to stand. This is not what I had planned. It's out of my control.
The video uses an incredible amount of digital and technological techniques that most viewers cannot even fathom.
In my head, so many things were left unsaid.
The band members stand still throughout the video, along with other props like skeletons, samurai swords, taxidermied animals, etc. As the camera rotates around the member or object, hundreds of lights interconnected with lines outlines the objects.
A famous saying by legendary pianist and comedian Oscar Levant says that there's a fine line between a genius and insanity. Linkin Park is exactly walking this tightrope between the two with their latest video, Waiting for the End. In fact, they've been doing things visually and musically which would go on to please and impress just about anybody. In this highly competitive world where we are increasingly encouraged to let go or curb our imagination and vision, Linkin Park stands as an example to show that self-belief and commitment is something that would bring one long-term success. This generation will go on to remember Linkin Park as the band that taught them to exercise the power of self-belief and self-expression. And the generations ahead will remember this as the Linkin Park generation.
Waiting for the end to come. I tried so hard.